You guys refuse to condemn the violence that we're seeing in LA. What do you say to Senator Fetterman?
I mean, I think we should absolutely condemn the violence of ripping apart families, of ICE breaking the law, of them going into elementary schools and churches and raiding workplaces. And I absolutely condemn ICE's consistently illegal activity and the fact that they're also rounding up U.S. citizens and also documented people who are here legally with no regard for the court system and judicial injunctions. And I think that if Senator Fetterman or anybody else is concerned with law and order, we should be looking at one of the most law-breaking agencies and administrations that we've seen in the United States. We also have a convicted felon in the White House.
My friends, the biggest problem with Democrats AOC and Castor is clear. When confronted with legitimate questions about law enforcement, what did we see? In one clip, we witnessed everything they stand for. Instead of denouncing hate speech, AOC villainizes law enforcement. Instead of siding with the majority of Americans who overwhelmingly voted to secure our borders, they choose to side with illegal aliens. They peddle misinformation to gaslight Americans, knowingly spreading false narratives such as the supposed raids on elementary schools. When you have no ideas and no moral authority, all that's left is to sling mud. That's why they close their arguments with the same tactic in every playbook, taking potshots at the president. AOC and Castor should be embarrassed and ashamed. They should be condemning those carrying "From the River to the Sea" posters and signs during their protests. They should denounce the radical ideologies blatantly on display in these demonstrations. Why is it that at an ICE protest, you see more Palestinian and Gaza signs than Latin American flags? Why not support the men and women who are on the front lines? Those tasked with cleaning up the mess that they created with the last administration. I'll tell you why. Because these protests have as much to do with immigration as BLM had to do with police reform. This isn't about meaningful change. It's about chaos. It's about selling a narrative. Groups like No Kings, DSA, and the PSL branches are not about building up, they're about tearing down. They aim to destroy the fabric of our country, the very soul of this nation. Let me close with a message to the people of Tampa Bay. Since their current representative is nothing more than an empty vessel and doesn't possess 1 ounce of leadership, it's time for the adults to lead and educate instead of weaponizing students. If you want chaos, Tampa Bay is not for you. My office has been coordinating with agents and community leaders and preparing them with intelligence and potential attacks on federal buildings and detention centers. Lastly, let me make this clear. I stand with Israel. America stands with Israel. When you say "From the river to the sea," you align yourself with hate and ignorance, and you should be ashamed. We are all witnessing the consequences of 4 years of open borders and the demonization of law enforcement. Enough is enough. Defund the police? Defund ICE? How about we defund Castor, defund AOC, and defund the American-hating Democrats out of office? I'm Rocky, and I'm running for Congress.
I'm Rocky, and I approve this message.